let's say at the jam last year, the oldest one was 93 years old, a lady.
In the audience?
In the audience. And, you know...
And just to explain, a jam, just for people who don't know what that is.
This year we got stuck with the word jam without being a jam. It was a show, but last year it was more of a jam, where a lot of artists come together and perform and make new stuff together. We've called it a jam, but it's not. It's we're stuck with the name. We are supposed to just improvise together, but we have a show.
It's now more of a set, kind of almost a cabaret, sort of a hip hop cabaret.
Yeah, more like we should call it a hip hop cabaret.
But a jam originally contains much more improvisation.
Yes.
People coming up on stage.
Working together there and then making new stuff.
So yeah, you were saying a 93-year-old.
Yes, sitting next to a young guy, 15 years old. Maybe they next time they see each other will think differently about each other. Because if you sit next to someone that you're like, oh, who's that? And then you laugh at the same things, and maybe you look at each other. Next time you'll be like, ooh, maybe that young boy can spin on his head. Or you have your first thought when you see that person the next time is not, oh, he's going to take my purse. Yeah. It's going to be, is it the boy that was sitting next to me? Maybe he can dance, you know. Or it's just small thoughts that will pop into their heads. And I think it's great to have those kind of experiences together. And then people have... Since it's at the National Theatre, they have their usual audience. And the hip-hop audience is not used to being in the National Theatre, but they go to a hip-hop event. So they feel at home because they're going to a hip-hop event, but the building is not within their comfort zone. And then you have the other part of the audience that are in their comfort zone because they're at the National Theatre and that's their theatre, but they feel crazy because they're going to a hip-hop event. So they're both like in their comfort zone and not. And I think that's good because then you feel a little bit safe, but also a little bit brave because you're doing something you're not used to. And I think it's been a lot of positive reactions. We got an email after this year's festival from a 57-year-old lady. Long email that she wrote to the National Theatre. She's like, I went to this event with my husband. He's 58, and we had a great night, and we saw a lot of the stuff we did. We got to see a culture, and we had no idea there was so much respect and love and skills. And she said she was really surprised because she was used to the mainstream hip hop, you know, bitches and bling. That's what people think it is. And then the prejudice against theatre is that it's just pathos and wigs. So, yeah.
So it's hip-hop theatre, and the way that you're using it particularly is about breaking down barriers between people. Are you at all afraid that that for some of the kind of the older white middle class, upper class audience, that it's a kind of anthropological expedition? That for them, do you believe that it does change people?
I don't know. It's probably like, ooh, this is, I'll check it out, and then I feel a little bit cool maybe, or I don't think it's going to change them for life or something, but if they have a positive experience, at least they know a little bit more about it. So I don't think it's making the big immediate changes right now, but maybe they'll go to another event another time, or maybe they'll dare to go to the Café Theatre to see the slam, or yeah.
Yeah, just to say, the Café Theatre, which is
a
venue in Oslo, which is run by Nordic Black Theatre, which is one of the oldest immigrant-led, black-led theatre companies in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That also collaborates on the Speakbook Festival.
Yes, and they're great.
They are great. And they were also the host for the Theatre Café Oslo Festival,
Yes.
in fact. Talking about theatre for young audiences, which is what this is about. Theatre, the people who make, who work in children's theatre, who might be curious about making a hip-hop theatre show, how should they go about it?
If they don't know anything about hip-hop from before, they should start looking into it, listen to music, read about it, and also look up events where they're at, maybe to see if they can collaborate with someone, and if it's for playwrights. I'm thinking that if you don't know anything about hip-hop theater, it's very hard just starting to write hip-hop theater, because maybe you don't know anything about the culture, you don't know, and starting to write either in rhyme or rhythm, you should look into it. Maybe my suggestion would be that they would get in contact with either the slam poetry scene, or that would be, because the slam poetry scene is kind of closer to the theater than the rap. Yeah, because that's further away. I feel like the slam poetry spoken word people are closer to the theater people in a way. So maybe ask to collaborate. Maybe you can write something together or work. A playwright does not always just sit alone and write. That's my mission with Christopher Grønskag, that you also did an interview with. I put him into productions where there's writers from before, the spoken word artists and playwrights, but just put him in there as well to also I want him to learn more about hip-hop theater, because I want him to write more stuff like that. So people that don't know anything about it should look into it and go to events and try to start collaborating. Maybe have a workshop together where the playwright has the experience and about dramaturgy and all of that a rapper doesn't have at all. Because that's the thing, a rapper can write lyrics for a song and stories, and maybe 10, 12 of them in a row, but how to put it together and put it in a play, that you could need a playwright for that. So they both need each other.
But a writer who is curious about this form has to then, from what you're saying, be willing to kind of relinquish a little bit of their territory as writers, because there will be give up. Yeah, to give up some of their territory as writers, because if you are working on hip-hop theatre, there will be a rapper in the room who's going to write lyrics. I mean, you will have to not be the only writer.
No, you don't have to. But to look into it, because I'm thinking that you either that, or you got to really do your research and start, because it's hard writing in rhyme and rhythm, and if you're that good a writer, go ahead. But then you should also, try to figure out, why do you want to write hip-hop theater? What is your mission? Is it the lower class perspective stories you want to write? Is it just because it's a new form? Then I think you have to figure out why you want to do it. And because there's probably a reason. If you're thinking, should I write hip-hop theater? Then most likely maybe you have an interest for hip-hop. Or maybe you wanted to be a rapper, but you became a playwright. That happens too, But because there are playwrights that love hip-hop, but in Norway it's not that common. But in New York, London, England, there's a lot of people that it's more common to have both, growing up with both sides. I feel like there's so theater here, hip hop there, especially in Norway, but other countries a lot, yeah.